I'll go ahead and I'll just let you take it over.
Okay.
This is Mrs. Diddy. Some of you may have met her before. If not, she is the teacher out at Pioneer Pipeline that's on campus. So take it away, Mrs. Diddy.
Cool. Well, thank you for joining us on your Wednesday night. Um, a little bit about me. I am from Athens, Ohio, but I've lived all over the country. I have a bachelor's of science from Portland State, Oregon, and my master's is an intervention specialist from Muskingum. I also am working on being a board certified behavioral analyst, so a BCBA. And I have been at the Pioneer Pipeline for 2 years. It originally was started as a grant funded program about 10 years ago. Warren Local Schools now funds it. So even though we work at Merida College, my paycheck comes from Warren, and we follow Warren's like snow days and logistics and things like that. Um, I am the main staff person, but we have two other staffs, and based on if you come back next year or something like that, that may change. We currently have 8 students. They're all males. They range in age from 17 to 21. Um, and they have all but two of them, because two of them, no, all, almost all of them have met their academic requirements to have graduated high school. And so in the state of Ohio, you can receive funding if you have an IEP um, until the day before you turn 22. So our program kind of takes advantage of that little loophole, and we continue to provide IEP services for the students with developmental disabilities. And that's what the Pioneer Pipeline program is. So our youngest is 17, our oldest is going to be 22 in March. They range in abilities um, and like physical abilities, but also cognitive abilities. I think our highest reader right now is probably a junior high level reader, and probably like a fifth or sixth grade math ability. We work on life skills and social skills. So even though academics and IEPs are a part of our classroom, it's not like a skill and drill like you may see within a brick and mortar building. We kind of loop all of their skills into just our daily activities. So we meal plan on days that we're in school all week. We cook in the classroom, and so beginning of the week we plan out our shopping list. We look at prices. The students show us and count out with money, and we do like an exchange with money. We work on resumes, and part of our program also does internships. So depending on when you're available, you may attend internships with the students. Um, and when they're at an internship, again, based on the student that you might be paired with or the location that you might be going to, kind of depends on the need. We have students with the campus police department. They go and do parking tickets. Um, Chief Weaver has been fantastic. So we usually don't have college mentors go, but you might see the students out with Chief. Um, we have students at Jeremiah's Coffee House down on Front Street. If you were to attend there with a student, um, one student's really great and can do like the cash register and that type of stuff. The other student just needs help maintaining like his directed task. He kind of gets sidetracked after about 10 minutes, and you just have to remind him to keep going. We have students at the mailroom, not the mailroom, we did, but not right now. At the education department, they go and shred. They love shredding. So they just go and shred sensitive documents and shred and shred and shred for 30 minutes or an hour, depending on how they're feeling that day. And then we just got a new partner, Canine Patterson. He is over off for Route 7, but trains dogs. So we go over there. They help clean and sanitize kennels, and then they are also incorporated into some of the training. So Devin, who's the lead trainer and owner, he helps. he helps. Well, he doesn't help. He trains dogs, service dogs, and things like that. So having students that have different abilities or different looks or different smells or things like that, kind of helps him even have a better product in his dog. So that's been a cool partnership. Um, we attend, we're doing a comm class this semester. So we try to do a college class. Last semester, we kind of did, I think, two or three of them. This semester, we're all going to the same one. So that should help with schedules. But it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday this semester at 9. From 9 to 10, we go to comm 203. And then we come back to our classroom, and we've partnered with Goodwill Industries, which is a service provider within Ohio. And they're going to come to our classroom for the first time, which is super exciting, and do their pre-ETS program. It is the ETS is employability training service. So they offer things like interview skills, kind of what we already do, but it's just another layer, and having different people with different skill sets kind of reinforce what we've already done in the classroom. So that might be something you can help with too. We eat at Gilman when we're not eating in the classroom. We try to, like I said earlier, we shop and plan and cook within our classroom. So Fridays are usually our cooking day. So if you're with us on a Friday, you might get to help in the kitchen, and you're welcome to eat with us. It flexes a little bit when we go shopping. We usually go to Giant Eagle. There have been times where we like all get on the bus, the public bus, and spend the day navigating public trans to make it to Kroger's or Walmart just for something different. We also take field trips. We try to once a month. I think we have like bowling scheduled. We go putt-putting. We've gone to the movies. Later on this semester, usually in May, we do like a bigger type thing. Last year we went to the zoo. So if you guys are still around in the summer, which is May, so not really summer yet, but college student summer, you're welcome to join us on those things too. We go swimming. We used to go to Betsy Mills, but the pool has been closed, and it's supposed to be reopening soon. We'll sometimes walk to the public library. So just it's the best job ever. It's the best job I've ever had. It's so much fun. The students are wildly fantastic. You're going to fall in love with them. Um, they're just fantastic. Just fantastic. Things to know about when you come in. They are aware that we have mentors. They
Ashley, you've frozen on us, unless it's me that's frozen. Is it me? Oh,
Sorry,
there
go
you are.
ahead, Stephanie.
You're there. You'd frozen for a bit.
Here, catch up. So like if we have some students that maybe use improper language. We have a student that has some behavioral needs, and so he tends to get, he's not violent, but will escalate verbally. He sometimes like is gross. He'll spit or lick or things like that. If that's the case, that is not on you're not responsible for that. Please come get a staff member and ask for support. You don't need to manage any of the behaviors that you feel uncomfortable with. And even if you're like, nope, I'm fine, in those situations, please come get a staff member, and we will help support you. If there is at any time something again that makes your gut just like, hey, I'm not sure about that, or that wasn't quite right, please come get a staff member. We look to you guys to be the proper role models for them. A lot of them, not a lot of them, most of them have really great social norms and understand social expectations. Some of them don't. So that's kind of why partnering with the college and having you guys in our classroom, you're same age as them. And so we look to you guys to kind of be like, oh, look at what Jessica's doing. Look at how she's holding the door for somebody. It's something super simple like that. Eye contact is really important. Just conversations on topic that you would kind of have just in a normal thing. We stress to them that it's an educational setting that they're in. They're a professional setting. So those types of conversations that maybe you'd have at a friend's house or behind closed doors or not at school, sometimes come up because we have a classroom full of boys, and they're together quite often. So if those types of things happen, please just step in and, hey guys, this is a professional setting, this is an educational setting, that type of stuff. We've had students or mentors ask about attire. We dress pretty professionally casual. So jeans are fine with me. If you have other expectations from the college, that is absolutely fine. When our students do internship, they have to match whatever the placement that they're attending is. Nobody's like in a suit and tie or anything like that. But as the weather changes, like we probably won't have them wear shorts on or on like internship days. Gosh, what else? I sometimes I have a facility dog who's a golden retriever, so he sometimes comes to class with me. Um, I'm trying to think of other things. If you have a cool opportunity or you know of things on campus that you think, hey, this might be an interesting opportunity for a pipeline student or all of us or something like that, please share, please invite us. You are also welcome. We've had students in the past like, hey, can I take this student to go get a coffee? I think you guys have like a Starbucks or something on campus. I've yet to find it, but it's fine because I drink way too much coffee anyway. So it's okay. Don't tell me. Um, yeah, you guys are welcome to do that. Or like we walk down to Marietta one of the nice days, like down to Front Street and just do some window shopping and stuff like that. So you have a lot of freedom and flexibility. We kind of want to provide them with a typical or like that idyllic college experience. So that's again, we lean into you guys to help facilitate that. We spend a lot of time at DBRC, basketball, like going up on the treadmills and bikes. We had a couple students play racquetball. I took a racquetball class last year. They're pretty active. I try to make them active. A lot of them are very sedentary once they go home, and video games and stuff like that. So I tried to get them walking and all of that. Nobody plays sports, but some of them really like sports. We have a lot of gearheads. So if you guys know anything about cars, that'll be a great connection point. We have one student that just loves animals, so he'll talk to you about dogs. They're all pretty good foodies. So if you have favorite foods or things at Gilman, sharing that with them is fantastic. We have one student that wants to be a storm chaser, like a tornado wrangler, whatever they're called. So Twister is like his jam. He loves Twister. He was in the band too. So if you guys are musicians or things like that, we have some that either like have some heartstrings for music or in band instruments. Trying to think of what else. We have some students that work independently outside of the program, and they have for a couple of years. So we have some at McDonald's and Wings, etc. So that gives you like a variety of kind of skill sets that they have. And we have other students that live in like assisted care places and have staff and things like that. So it's a wide range. They're all fantastic. They're all amazing. When we go to Gilman, depending on who we have and what your schedule is, we have paired students up in the past and just like work on conversation skills. So whether it's we give you topics or we give the students topics, work on engaging each other and just kind of having conversations that are appropriate to have in those types of settings. Stephanie, other questions?
There was a couple things that
Yeah.
they have a clinical checklist, which I'm not sure if I've actually had this with this class prior. Basically, one is like a journal and that stuff they turn into me. But one thing I had down was that they would conduct a career cluster AATA with a student. Unless there's a different AATA that you'd like, is that okay with the
Yeah.
students that are in there? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, because I'm a
Is that just like an assessment, like a interest kind of
yeah,
inventory type thing? Okay.
yeah, and it's just it's that career oriented thing, and then they sort of
Yeah.
figure out. Um,
And they should be able to talk about that pretty well. We start the year with that. And then the fact that we have Goodwill just starting, they just came in for their first time with us Monday. I don't even know what day it is, Monday. So everybody should be able to talk about it. And we honestly don't like steer anybody any which way. Like the
Right.
one student wants to be a storm chaser and the other one wants to be a ghost hunter. And so like, all right, that's cool. Like that's your end goal. It's not this linear thing. So what we talk about with them is like, okay, what can you do? What skills do you need or you think you need to get to that end point? So
Okay.
we try to, yeah, facilitate their thoughts and wants in a way that's a bit more realistic for our time with them.
How do you want them to handle their timesheet? Do you want them?
So timesheets, I can sign them every day. You can bring them in at the end of the semester. It's whatever works for you. I don't keep track of your time with me.
As you shouldn't. That's on the students. So,
Okay.
the one thing, not this is I'm thinking of the people that might have this question. If they're paired with someone who's doing an internship and they happen to only be there so many, like their time's up while the student's still at the internship, they're free to go, right?
Yes, and
Okay.
we would not we if you one of the things that you can do when you come in the first time is just give me your schedule and I'll put it together. Like I'll pair it with the rest of the intern or the mentors. And we absolutely would never expect you to stay past your time. Um, and like we have a student and a volunteer that he's like, well, I can walk him to the internship and he stays and gets him settled and then he leaves because he has class. So like that's fine. Yes, we just need to know your schedule. We wouldn't ever ask extra things. But if you guys do have extra time, like class is canceled and you're just in love with us and want to hang out, like you're welcome to come back too.
The last thing that I have, and then I'll let the you guys ask questions. Um, well, this is more usually with this class, we have our final is we've done a lunch or a pizza party, we've done a breakfast, but I'm gonna look to see when our final time is, and we'll probably have something like that. So just to give you a heads up, I'm not sure. I don't know about funding for that, but I'll work something out. But
And we can figure something out too. We
yeah,
can make
yeah.
that part of our lunch. Like we can do something, Stephanie. It's absolutely cool.
Okay. So what questions do you guys have for Mrs. Diddy? Well, you've got her here.
So you said that the first time we go, we can bring our schedule, and that's how we can kind of figure out like when we're gonna meet with you guys.
Yeah, please. And it doesn't have to be like, oh my, we're only here this whatever. We're super flexible. We understand that things come up. I will give you my cell number too. And I try to keep track. We had a student, we weren't there today, so we had a student who's volunteering. He emailed me and he's like, nobody's here. And I was like, oh shoot, I forgot that we have that I didn't send out the like email reminder. And we try to post schedules. Like our spring breaks are different than yours. So we'll post and share that information. When you come into the classroom, we are in McCoy Hall, the bottom floor. I think I always forget, is it the south side maybe? I
Is
don't
it
know.
to
It's
the
towards
volleyball or
towards the police station. You can come in through McCoy, or we have an exterior door. There are like white planters outside and a little sign. Um, what was I going with this? Yeah, I usually put up like the weekly lessons plans that schedules of who's going where and who's doing what. Um, we'll get your pictures to put up on our wall with your names. Um, and yeah, we're super flexible. So if I know you guys have hours to meet, but if you have tests or things like that that come up, please just let us know. We're cool with that. Um, and like I said, if you see us out and about on campus or you have extra time or whatever, just let us know because we're up for a lot of things.
what else?
You're talking about meeting in like the classroom in McCoy. Is there a certain day that we are starting, or is it just come and meet whenever we have free time, like
Yeah,
for the
that's a
first
great question. We are there from 8 until 1:30 every day. We're not always in our classroom, but that's when we arrive. And our day, typically students arrive at 8. They have breakfast. It's a slow start. Most mentors really enjoy that time because it's usually like card games or board games. Students are, kind of just waking up because they're your age and nobody likes the mornings. And so it's just a great time to kind of meet and hang out. We then go walk at DBRC or outside on Harrison Circle for about 30 minutes. Some students do like 80 laps, and other students maybe do a half a lap. So it's just getting us moving. And then that usually starts off, we either go to class after that or head to internships, and kind of our morning is like our active part. Not necessarily like physically active, but like our engaged time. We go to Gilman at 11, and we're usually there for an hour. We have one student that will take that long to eat his entire lunch. Other students eat and go back a few times and hang out and chat. And then we go to DBRC again. And that's another time that if you're free and you want to hang, like the weather's beautiful and you want to go for a walk or something like that, that's awesome. So 12 to 1-ish, we're usually at DBRC, basketball, some sort of rec, something. And then we head back to the classroom around 12, nope, around 1, and do our chores. So whether it's sweeping or like wiping things down or watering the plants, just kind of that chore-y type thing. And then students start leaving at 1:15 and the bus comes at 1:30. So that's our schedule. Again, it's whatever flows for you. We'll just let you know what we're doing that day and where we'll be. And you can join us. And like I said, I'll put together a schedule of everybody's not even expected, supposed times and availabilities. So you can check in with us and we'll try to keep track on that. But it's really whenever it flows for you guys as to when you want to start. Knowing that it's later into the semester. And do you have 30 hours? Is that the same?
They have 20. And
Oh,
the
okay.
last time doesn't start until, because I do the early childhood transition first, and then after spring break, they start meeting their class
Okay.
twice a week at 8. So, would it be okay if is Warren off on Friday, or is that just Marietta City Schools?
Just Marietta. We're off on Monday.
Okay, so I was thinking maybe over the next couple days, if you guys want to pop in and give her your schedule, then next week you could do you want to let them know when you want them to start then, Ashley, or?
Sure. I mean, I'm honestly, you can just let me know when you're starting. It's not that
Okay.
big of a deal. If you want to just email me your availability, I'll put it together. And then I share that with staff and we kind of are like, okay, so and so, we have 2 mentors coming at this time. We'll pair them with these students. And if you end up clicking with a student, fantastic. Like you can be like, oh man, I really like this student. I want to hang out with them. We've had students that have like really gotten close with their mentor and share, family time and things like that, which is super sweet. So yeah, whatever flows for you guys, whatever your heart gravitates towards works absolutely great for us. So yeah, if you just want to email me your schedule, if you don't think you have time to swing by, you can also just catch us like at DBRC or at Gilman or in passing, introduce yourself. I usually look a little bit better than this, so I apologize, but yeah, we're all super friendly. Sandy and Angie are the other staff members. They're wonderful. One student is graduating. He turns 22 in March. So we'll have a graduation party for him and he is moving on, which is insane. So we'll be down to 7 by the end of the year.
Once you guys, excuse me, once you guys get started, try to stick to a schedule with the times. That way they can expect you. And then I'll sort of know at the same time. If, again, flexible, if things have to change a little bit here and there, but it's just nice to have, once you get started, to have like a set schedule like you do with your other placements. What other questions do you have? We got about 5 minutes left.
I'm sorry, you might have already mentioned this, but did you say it was just Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, or is it all week?
It's all week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is when we go to our comm class and we have Goodwill come in. Tuesdays and Thursdays are our internships. So we're there Monday through Friday, but this semester's schedule is a little bit more scheduled, I guess. We used to be all over the place. So we're trying it out, but it seems a little crazy because we're like, oh my gosh, tomorrow's this. And yeah, it's just we're like flying by the seat of our pants, it feels. These days off and like snow days and early releases, we just haven't really gotten into a rhythm yet. And it's middle of February, so who knows? Who knows?
Actually, as I'm sitting here thinking, you guys don't necessarily have, we don't have to like, because you're starting before the class is starting. Um, if you want to hold off till the last week of February, that's, I mean, you can go ahead and drop in and give her your schedule, but um I don't want you get to, I said this in the meeting, and so that Ashley hears this too. I don't want you to go in and try to get your hours in 2 weeks. That's sort of not the spirit of the field placement, and it sort of doesn't lend itself to creating those relationships with the students and so forth. So I think I said in the meeting, I want it to at least span 7 weeks. But if you start the last week of February, that's plenty of time to get your hours in and stuff. So, but if you want to, I sort of jumped the gun there, but if you want to go ahead and pop in over the next couple days or next week, that should be fine. So.
Yeah. And if you have questions about the students' differences, like please, most of them are able to talk to you about it. But you're welcome to ask the staff too, just about, some of their symptoms or challenges or things like that. We have some really great families too. So if you're interested in learning more specifics about their upbringing, that's super appropriate. We do have some students that are impoverished. So you may notice we're doing laundry for them. We talk to them about hygiene. One of our curriculums that we do at the beginning of the year covers like showering and toilet etiquette and that type of stuff. Yes, animals. And so that stuff is just part of our curriculum. This is the one that I have. She's like so sleepy. So that's also something that's absolutely appropriate to talk about. If you build the rapport, like I wouldn't come in and be like, man, you smell. But if you build the rapport with the student or you can bring it to our attention, I mean, we've gotten to that point where like, shoot, and we have deodorant and stuff in the classroom. So, and other students come like dressed and well cared for and stuff like that. So we have all kinds of things that you'll get to experience. And it's just it's a really great class. We send home food with students. I just recently took animal food over to one of our students. What else? We've like clothing and things like that. We have a student that like during that cold spell, his pipes froze. And so they didn't have running water and he was hauling in water from his church. But the family wasn't up for having support from us. So you get a little bit of social work, you get a little bit of teaching, you get a little bit of counseling. It's kind of like an all-encompassing placement. So hopefully you guys enjoy it as much as we do. We have an amazing time, an amazing time.
Well, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to, you should have Mrs. Diddy's email address, right? Okay, yeah.
I
So,
will put my cell number in the chat too, just in case
okay.
that's easier for you guys. I am much better at responding through text than I am through anything else. But I also obviously like we all have our email on our phone too. So, but that's my cell phone. That would be the best way to reach me if you need anything or have questions or stuff like that.
If you are sick though, remember what I've said. Use email. You can text her as well, but make sure that I'm on an email and that you email her. So it's tracked and documented. So
Also, if you guys are around next semester, when you're not in an ed placement, there is a stipend. It's $300 a semester. It's basically the same thing that you would be doing in a field placement, but you get paid for it. So if that's something you're interested in next semester, if you're around, that's also an option too. Just let me know and I'll get you connected and paperwork and stuff like that.
I didn't know they paid for that. That's nice.
Yeah. It used to only be like 75. It just recently went up to 300. So that's a lot of coffee.
That's not bad just for having fun.
I know. And like field trips. I mean,
Yeah.
like yeah, we have a great time. Other students have had like other leadership projects or stuff like that that they've used our students for. So yeah, we're super open to being creative or supporting you guys and your needs. We've been invited to classes to go, participate. It was a really great entrepreneurship experience that we had. So yeah, whatever you think would benefit the students, we are up for if it flows for the schedule. So please keep us in mind as you're kind of navigating around your days, and just let us know. Yeah.